3 years ago, a colleague told me my presentation was amateur at best. I didn't sleep for 3 nights. I replayed those words until they became my identity. I was the amateur, the failure, the one who didn't belong. Does this in any way sound familiar to you? That crushing weight when someone's words pierce through your defenses and you can't stop feeling hurt by others' words? What if ancient wisdom and modern psychology could teach us how to stop taking things personally, not by becoming cold or disconnected, but by building genuine emotional resilience? What if I told you my personal growth journey transformed how I handle criticism without getting hurt? For years, I was the person who took everything to heart. A sideways glance meant rejection. Constructive feedback felt like personal attacks. Silence from friends meant I'd done something wrong. I was exhausted from managing personal attacks that probably weren't even attacks at all. In this video, I'll share 7 principles that transformed my relationship with criticism, rejection, and other people's opinions. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. I spent years giving my power away to every casual comment and careless word. Here's how I took it back. Let's begin with the realization that changed everything. 1. I learned that reactions say more about them than me. Don Miguel Ruiz teaches in the 4 Agreements. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality. This principle sounds simple, but internalizing it took me months of practice and countless moments of catching myself in the old pattern. Here's what shifted. Last year, my manager snapped at me during a team meeting. Old me would have spiraled, replaying the interaction, cataloging my failures, losing sleep over what I'd done wrong. But I'd been practicing this new mindset. I paused. I asked myself, is this really about me, or is she dealing with something I can't see? I later discovered she was facing a family crisis and apologized the next day. Her reaction had nothing to do with my performance. This wasn't about making excuses for bad behavior. It was about developing non-reactivity by recognizing that people's responses emerge from their internal worlds, their stress, fears, insecurities, and past wounds. When I stopped internalizing every negative interaction, I found breathing room to assess situations objectively rather than personally. 2. I separated my worth from my actions. Carl Jung observed that I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. For years, I confused my self-worth with my performance, making my entire identity dependent on others' approval. This meant one criticism didn't just hurt, it threatened my entire sense of self. If my work was flawed, I was flawed. If someone disagreed with me, I was wrong at my core. This cognitive distortion, personalization, kept me trapped in constant anxiety. The breakthrough came when I started practicing separating self from action. I made a mistake at work that cost us a client. Instead of spiraling into I'm incompetent, I practiced saying, I made a decision that didn't work out. This doesn't define my capabilities. Think of it this way. A surgeon can perform a failed operation without becoming a failed human being. An artist can create a mediocre painting without becoming mediocre themselves. I learned to view my actions as separate events, not definitions of my character. This shift in perspective on hurt transformed everything. Criticism became information about my actions, not verdicts on my worth. I could receive feedback without my entire identity crumbling. 3. I examined my emotional triggers. Before we continue, I want to acknowledge something. If you've made it this far, you're doing the work that most people avoid. Examining why we take things so personally requires courage. Pema Chodron teaches that nothing ever goes away until it teaches us what we need to know. My emotional triggers were trying to teach me something crucial about my wounded feelings. I started journaling every time I felt that familiar sting of taking something personally. Patterns emerged. I discovered that criticism about my intelligence triggered me because my father constantly questioned my capabilities growing up. Rejection in friendships activated childhood wounds of being excluded. These weren't random sensitivities. They were unhealed parts of myself seeking attention. Understanding this didn't instantly stop the hurt, but it gave me context. When someone's comment triggered me disproportionately, I could pause and ask, is this about what they said, or about something deeper in me? This practice of interpreting behavior, both mine and others, through a lens of curiosity rather than judgment became essential to my healing emotional wounds. My triggers became teachers instead of tormentors. 4. I practiced self-compassion instead of self-blame. Kristin Neff, who pioneered self-compassion research, explains that self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a good friend. For years, I did the opposite. When someone hurt me, I'd turn on myself. Why am I so sensitive? Why can't I just let things go? What's wrong with me? This self-blame exacerbated the original hurt, creating a double wound. The external criticism combined with my internal attack. I started practicing a simple technique. When feeling hurt by others' words, I'd place my hand on my heart and say, "This hurts. It's okay to feel hurt. I'm doing my best." This wasn't about wallowing. It was about developing thick skin through gentleness, not harshness. Here's what I discovered. Beating myself up for feeling offended easily only made me more reactive. But meeting my sensitivity with compassion created space for emotional regulation. I could acknowledge the hurt without drowning in it or attacking myself for having the feeling. This self-care for sensitive people transformed my inner dialogue from critic to companion. 5. I questioned my interpretations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." I realized I was treating my interpretations as facts. My friend didn't text back for 2 days. My interpretation? She's mad at me. I did something wrong. The reality was when I finally asked, "Sorry, I've been dealing with a family emergency and haven't checked my phone." I was constantly overthinking social interactions, creating elaborate stories about what people's behavior meant, and those stories were almost always about my inadequacy. This pattern of reacting to criticism that didn't exist was exhausting. I started practicing what cognitive behavioral therapy calls examining the evidence. When I felt hurt, I'd ask, "What's the actual evidence for my interpretation? What are 3 alternative explanations? Am I mind reading? Am I catastrophizing?" This non-personal perspective didn't mean dismissing genuine hurt. It meant not adding imaginary hurt to real situations. Sometimes people were just distracted, tired, or dealing with their own struggles. Their behavior wasn't a coded message about my worth. 6. I built emotional resilience through Stoic principles. Epictetus taught that we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. This became my anchor for overcoming taking things personally. I started practicing Stoic principles daily. The dichotomy of control. I mapped out what I could control, my responses, my effort, my growth, versus what I couldn't. Others' opinions, their moods, their judgments. When someone criticized me, I'd ask, what part of this is within my control? Negative visualization. Instead of fearing criticism, I'd imagine it beforehand. What if my idea gets rejected? By rehearsing potential hurts mentally, they lost some power when they occurred in reality. View from above. When feeling wounded, I'd zoom out. In the grand scheme of my life, will this moment matter in 5 years? Usually the answer was no. These emotional regulation techniques didn't eliminate hurt. They gave me tools for letting things roll off my back more easily. I developed inner peace despite criticism by building a philosophical framework that couldn't be shaken by every negative comment. 7. I chose my identity over others' perceptions. I made a list of my core values and who I genuinely believed I was, separate from anyone else's opinion. When criticism came, I could check it against this internal compass. Did the criticism align with my values and the truth about myself? Then it was worth considering. Did it contradict my authentic self-knowledge? Then I could acknowledge it without absorbing it. A family member called me selfish for setting boundaries. Old me would have collapsed under that label. But the new me checked my internal compass. Am I honoring my values while being considerate of others? Yes. The label didn't stick because it didn't match my truth. This mindset shift, not taking things personally, came from grounding myself in self-knowledge rather than self-worth, dependent on others. I practiced detachment from others' opinions by building attachment to my own integrity. This doesn't mean ignoring all feedback. It means filtering feedback through self-awareness rather than accepting everything as truth. Conclusion. As we close this chapter, I want you to know, I still get hurt sometimes. I'm not immune to pain, and honestly, I wouldn't want to be. What changed isn't that criticism no longer reaches me. What changed is how long it stays and how deeply it penetrates. I've learned how to stop being sensitive in the destructive sense while remaining open and authentic in the beautiful sense. These 7 principles transformed my relationship with hurt. They gave me the gift of letting go of what others think without becoming cold or disconnected. In the comments below, share your experience with taking things personally. What helps you develop emotional armor without losing your heart? Which principle resonated most? Let's learn from each other and build a community of resilient, authentic souls. If this video spoke to your journey of how to handle criticism without getting hurt, subscribe for more insights on emotional intelligence, mental health, and personal transformation. Hit that like button if you're committed to building inner peace, and ring that notification bell for wisdom that transforms.